Welcome to the Hodger on Architecture podcast. Vernacular Architecture Chapter 1. The Introduction. Human Build. There is a common misconception that man is not unique among other organisms in shelter construction. The main difference is that animals' nesting behavior refers to an instinct, whereas human structures result from deliberate design decisions to meet perceived needs. Whether the resulting structure is a hut, an igloo, or a teepee, the decision-making factors of the design process are a complex combination of elements. This study aims to analyze the aspects affecting the vernacular architecture. As far as we know, Earth is the only planet known to support life, thanks to its perfect distance from the Sun, tilt of its axis, and quality of its atmosphere. These geographic features define various biomes with unique creatures that are evolutionarily adapted. Humans, on the other hand, are the only species on Earth that have quickly spread to all corners before biological adaptation was completed. However, humans stand out for their incredible versatility. The cognitive revolution was completed before human cultures, which is the key to reshaping the environment and domesticating themselves, even in the most severe conditions. Architecture is here accepted as the production of culture. Distinct biomes support different sets of endemic life forms. Humans, the only pandemic creature, have the amazing ability to manipulate not only the inorganic environment, but also these animals, plants and fungi. To manipulate not only the inorganic environment but also these animals, plants and fungi. Controlling the other creatures, humanity creates economies. These climate-driven distinct economies can also be accepted as man's reaction to his surroundings. Certain economies support particular forms of social organizations, which once again lead to the anthropological definition of culture. Distinct economies and cultures will need distinct spatial needs that architecture needs to solve. Designing and/or building a structure is a well-defined profession in crowded and complex social organizations. However, not all structures on the globe were designed by educated architects or illiterate artisans. On the contrary, their percentage is tiny. In other words, 90 to 98% of the total building stock of the world has a vernacular identity. The strict definition of vernacular architecture is architecture without the architect, where the expanded definition relates to environmental contexts, available resources, and traditional techniques. The vernacular architecture is built to meet specific needs, accommodating the values, economies, and ways of living of the cultures that produced it. This study accepts features mentioned up to this point, such as climate, economy, and culture, as abstract inputs of vernacular architecture. Though detailed briefly, all concepts mentioned here are already enough in the perception of human diversity, and, from the architectural perspective, the diversity of building typologies. From now on, the concrete outcomes of vernacular architecture, the material, the technique, and the form will be evaluated. As told before, distinct biomes have different qualities both in biological and inorganic features. People needing basic physical shelter must determine the building material from what is available. Certain materials are chosen because of their ease of building, insulating qualities, or large quantity. Not all materials are handled the same way. Some are available to pile up, some to stretch, and others to mold. Some techniques are invented to merge materials with distinct qualities. And sometimes, different methods can be applied to the same material. Finally, through the process of materials and techniques, the physical form of the vernacular structure will be erected. Form is an essential feature of architecture, and is always subject to discussion. Once again, certain forms are decided for a reason, maybe for their surface area, construction technique, or even cosmological meaning. This study aims to create a new method for vernacular architecture research, by categorizing the examples, based on these abstract inputs, and concrete outputs. This is the end of the Vernacular Architecture Chapter 1, the Introduction. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.